And now it is time for part two. Now it is time for part two. At this time, make sure you have open January 11th, part two. We are still partitioning rectangles. Why do we have these sections of rectangles? Because we are multiplying multi-digit, more than one digit numbers. And we are going to use these partitioned rectangles to represent each problem. Then write an equation to show how you added each part of the rectangle to get the product. Now, I know that we looked at this before, we lined our numbers up, but for today, we are using our rectangles. We are breaking down each number and using our rectangles. For the example, the first problem that you see here, I'm going to put a little red line so you know where I am. Right here for the example, our problem is 4 times 57. Remember when we had that floor tiling in the part one? Yes, same skills for part two. So we are drawing our 4 for our width here. There it is. I drew my rectangle and there's my 4. For 57, I'm going to use expanded form. And what is the value of that 5 for expanded form? Yes, 50. There it is. And then 7 ones. Oh, there are 7 ones. So I have 4 times 57. I use the expanded form of 57, the value of each digit. The value of the 5 is 50 because it's in the 10 spot. And 7 is ones. I have 7 ones. Now that we know that, we're ready to multiply. 5 times 4 equals 20, yes. And we know how to multiply 10. We did our extended multiplication last week where we added a 0 to the end. There's 1 0, so I'm going to add 1 0. Now my answer is 200. So far, so good. Let's keep going. What is 4 times 7? Yes, 28. Make sure you have that. You have those notes. You understand that we multiplied 7 times 4, and 28 is in our last part of our rectangle. Now, what do I do with this 228? I'm going to add them together. I have 200 plus 28 equals adding the ones, 8, 10s, 200s, 228. Tiny bit confusing because everything is already there, but as long as we understand that we took the expanded form of this number 57 to multiply it by 4 using our rectangles. Let's start the blank slate for number 1. The first thing I need to do is draw my rectangle. I'm going to go to shapes and I inserted my rectangle. Oh, that rectangle's too big. I went to shapes, there's my rectangle. I'm going to erase this tiny one. There we go. Now, I am going to multiply 5 times 48. After I have my rectangle, I'm putting 5 to the side here. There's 5 for my width. Think of it like a rectangle, area times length. There's my 5. For 48, what is the value of my 4? What do I want to put that as? While you're thinking, I'm going to use my drawing tool to draw a line so I don't get confused. My 4 would be, that's right, 40. And my 8 will be, hold on, I made that too big. I need to put that up top. I'm going to use my text box. Oh Oh no, my rectangle went away. That's okay. I need it a little smaller anyway. There we go. Okay, my 4 is 40. I'm going to put that right there above my rectangle. And the value of the 8, yes, 8. Now I'm going to multiply 5 times 40. The good thing is I can use my basic digit here. 4 times 5 equals 20. And then I'm going to add my 0 for 200. 5 times 4 equals 20. I use the first 2 digits, just the first digit, and then I added my 0 to the end, 200. 8 times 5 equals, yes, 40. Now that I have my rectangle, I'm going to add each part of my rectangle to get the product or the answer. The first part I have is 200 plus, what's the second part? 40. That's right. And 200 plus 40 equals 240. Is it making sense a tiny bit? Are you partitioning experts now? I'm sure that you are. Let's keep going. 9 times 63. The first thing I need to do, draw my rectangle exactly. Then I'm going to draw a line to separate my 10s and 1s. 9. Here's my width, my single digit standing alone there, 9 times. Now, when it comes to 63, we're writing down the value of each digit. The value of 6 equals 60, absolutely. And the value of 3? Absolutely 3, because it's in the 1 spot. Now that I have my numbers here, I broke it down. Again, 6 is 60, 3 is 3. Okay, and then 9 times 6 equals 54. And we're going to add the 0. There's my 0. So 540. See if you can get a loaner. 3 times 9 equals 27. Now, I'm going to add these numbers together. I'm going to add each part of the rectangle to get the product or the answer for 9 times 63.
What does that mean?
540. And I don't have a whole lot of room. I'm going to use this little space over here. Please use your text box. I know that I'm using my drawing tool because my numbers are pretty clear. If your numbers are not clear where I can read them, use your text box. 540 plus 27. 0 plus 7, 7. 4 plus 2, 6. And 5 plus 0, 5. So the product of 9 times 63 equals 567. That's my answer. Can you complete number 3 on your own? I'm sure that you can. I'm going to get you started. First step, draw a rectangle. We did that. Second step, I'm putting my width here. And I'm expanding 37. 30. 10s. That's 30 because the value of 3 is 30. And 7 1s. Go ahead. I know you can solve that. Pause this video so you can solve number 3 at this time. What is 7 times 37? What is the product? After you solve number 3, I want you to come on back to number 4. Kadir and Arian, they solved the same problem 2 different ways. What is similar? What is the same about their strategies and what is different? What is the same and what is different? They have the same answer. They are both correct. But what is the same? I'll start with the same. They are similar because, of course, I'm away, because they both used partitioned rectangles. They both use the rectangle method. That's what's the same. You don't have to think about that part. I'm telling you right now. What is similar? They both use partitioned rectangles. Now, I want you to tell me how they are different. They are different because Kadir, what did Kadir do? And Arian, spelled her name wrong. Tell me what both students did to solve the problem. How were they different? When you are all done, go ahead and turn it in twice. Couldn't get that out. Turn it in twice to submit. And that concludes your part 2. If you have any questions, please let me know, you mathematician.